Brexit uncertainty continues to constrain investment in construction, and the market has significantly contracted over the past 3 years. This has created increased competition for contractors and a challenging environment for material manufacturers and construction service providers. Construction is experiencing some of the most challenging conditions since the last recession. Since 2016, project starts have fallen 14% and construction insolvencies risen by 27%. However, detailed planning consents have shown stability, suggesting that clients and investors have a good backlog to be getting on with once favourable conditions return. And with more political certainty on the horizon, the market is forecast to brighten over the next 2 years. So, amid all the turbulence, what are the opportunities for businesses and what should firms be focusing on to ensure success in a challenging market?
The outlook for the construction industry is brighter for the next 2 years, with growth coming from an increase in private housing activity, greater government investment, and also a rise in civil engineering opportunities. But there are 3 sectors in particular I'd like to draw attention to, which are going to offer some immediate opportunities for growth. The build for rent market provides a great opportunity for renewed growth, following a 29% drop in project starts this year. A more certain political and regulatory outlook is expected to support a renewed growth in this sector, both in 2020 and in 2021. The number of school pupils is rising fast. That is increasing the pressure on the existing school stock and school buildings. Increased government funding should enable local authorities to accelerate the delivery of much needed school buildings over the next 2 years. Demand for warehousing and logistics facilities are growing due to structural change within the retail sector. The North West, Midlands and parts of the South East are the favoured locations for the larger distribution facilities due to their good access to the national transport networks and to population centres. There are also opportunities across the UK for smaller distribution facilities to enable that final mile delivery of products to customers' homes and businesses.
So there are opportunities, but what else should businesses be focusing on to mitigate risks and gain advantages in this challenging market? So what would recommendations for businesses look like? We spoke to 3 of our customers to find out.
Give yourself the chance to fine-tune your Brexit readiness plan. There will a lot of things that will need to change, you will need to adapt. So straight away, our first concern was about the free circulation of goods into the UK. Then secondly, our second concern was about our relationship with our customers and suppliers that were based in the UK. How will this affect our relationship? So the measure that we put in place to mitigate the risks, the first one was using the TSP, so the Transitional Simplified Procedure, in case of a no-deal Brexit. So we follow the guideline of the government, HMRC advice, and it's a good recommendation that you do whatever you can to make the importing as easy as possible. The second measure was about changing our Incoterms, so whereby we decided to take ownership of the transport and all the import duty side of the Brexit, just to make it easy for our suppliers. The third measure we took was checking and auditing our ERP system, make sure that the country of origin and your import duty categories are fully up to date, so that you can issue correctly the packing list and the commercial invoices that you will need to supply when you need to move your goods in and out of the EU. You need to understand your critical product flow and how they move in and out. So where do you source them from? Where are you selling them to? What value you're adding to the product? What currency you purchase those goods with? You need to understand all of this so that you understand even transporting. Who's going to be in charge of the transport? Who's going to be in charge of clearing the duty? And if you carefully control all those checkpoints, then you're in a good position.
As an industry, we continue to see a lot of issues associated with shortages in skilled labour and availability of labour generally. It's an oft-quoted statistic that for every 1 person that joins the construction industry, 5 people leave. So one of the things that people often ask is, does Offsite provide a solution to that conundrum? Yes, it does, because fundamentally what it enables us to do is to use less skilled labour than is traditionally used on construction sites. In terms of increasing both our on-site efficiencies and the use of off-site efficiencies, we've got a structured plan towards adopting a proper design for manufacture and assembly approach. So essentially design it to be as manufactured from as few components as possible and make those as easy to assemble as possible. And that's not rocket science, but it's surprising how often we don't do that in construction, and we love to reinvent the wheel. So actually trying to think like a manufacturer, trying to think about manufacturing processes, whether they're on-site or off-site, is really the key. And also making sure that we measure the right things. So we don't just measure inputs, but we actually measure outputs. How do we actually measure the productivity of our business and our industry is key.
So our construction customers tell us that investing in a digital transformation strategy provides 3 benefits. 1, transparency in the fact that their projects, the data from those projects can be seen all the way up to the executive level. 2, it provides them with insight in the fact that they can understand their business much better. And 3, it's the workflows that they use and the fact that they can integrate those workflows in ways they've never been able to before. So when we speak to customers about embarking on a digital transformation strategy or investing in digital transformation, it's usually about starting small. It can be, especially in construction, starting at something as simple as taking some of their paper-based workflows and looking at how they can digitize them. So it could be something like quality checking and really investing in how they capture issues out on site, capture them in a digital form, and then they can use that data in order to manage their subcontract supply chain.
So regardless of the confusion in the market, there are some real opportunities for us to focus on and some clear steps that we can take to prepare our businesses. We, as business leaders, need to make sure that we are securing our supply chain, we're working as efficiently as possible, and we're embracing new technologies. If you would like to read more about the recommendations and opportunities we've talked about here today, as well as gaining valuable insight into the construction industry over the next 2 years, download the free Glenigan Forecast on the link below.